So in activity 20 on page 57 in chapter 2, we're listening to some dialogues. Now, of course, you can see the dialogue in written form on page 58 and 59. However, if you are trying to train your listening ability, then you will look only at page 57 in order to hear what you're trying to find. So every activity has a purpose. It has a focus. You're trying to work on something in particular. So in this case, in activity 20, we're learning to ask for clarification. Now, we've practiced that in chapter 1, and we want to practice it more in chapter 2. Now, to be a good listener in a conversation, you need to understand what the speaker is saying. You want to get confirmation. And sometimes you're not sure you got the information right, so you need clarification. You need them to clarify or to make something clearer to you. Now, you can ask for confirmation or clarification in several ways. One way is to repeat the speaker's exact words. And sometimes we do that, and then we say, right, at the end, or is that right, at the end. So you said, I should turn left in 2 blocks. Is that right? So that's repeating and then asking. Or sometimes we repeat the information by using a rising intonation, like a yes-no question. So maybe somebody told me to turn right after 2 blocks, and I want to make sure, I want to request confirmation. I can say, turn right in 2 blocks, and I'm using rising intonation to repeat the information and ask for confirmation. Another way is to rephrase the speaker's idea. So instead of saying the exact same words, you can say the idea in different ways. So somebody told me to turn right after 2 blocks. I don't repeat the exact words, but I say, so you mean I should walk 2 blocks more and then turn right? It's the same meaning, but it's not exactly the same words. So I'm using rephrasing as a way to get confirmation. And still another way is to ask if you heard the speaker correctly. Now, if you listen to each of these, or when we listen to each of these dialogues, one by one, you want to find who is talking to each other, where are they talking, what is the topic, and what information do they need for confirmation or clarification. Now, I'm on page 57, but I see a lot of you somewhere else. So I want you to be on page 57, because this is not a reading class. This is a listening class. And for you to work on your listening means that you should be focusing on what comes through your ears. So do you know the difference between your eyes and your ears? I bet you do. Reading is this way, and listening is this way, okay? So some of you are too dependent on these to understand things. That's great in a reading and writing class. That's perfect. But this is a listening and speaking class. So that's why if you allow yourself the opportunity to try with your ears, then you can grow and develop in your listening skills. But if you just say, oh, but it's so easy to look, then you won't be training your ears. All right? So I don't know how you did your homework. The homework said you're supposed to listen and try to do this exercise on page 57. So I wasn't there with you when you were doing it at home, but it just is a reminder that this is a way to try to increase your reading. It's not a test. It's just a learning activity, okay? So sometimes you'll get these activities in your book that say you should listen without reading, because later you'll be able to read, and then you'll be able to confirm and check with your visual skills what you had in your listening skills. Okay, so now I'm going to play each dialogue one by one. You're going to hear them here, and then we'll talk about them.